Hello, everybody. It's patriotism time, boys. Let's get excited. Welcome, welcome. No, I haven't streamed in a little bit. I know. Should I have been streaming? Yes. It's just been it's been a difficult week. You know what? I haven't streamed in like 6 days, which honestly has been the longest time since the year started. So, you know what? I'll take that. I'll take that. But boy, howdy, do I have a show for you all today. Woo, I'm excited. And if you're wondering why we're playing Stars and Stripes Forever, if it's patriotism time and not the national anthem, it's because personally, I like Stars and Stripes Forever more than I like the Star Spangled Banner. That's just me personally. Now, don't get me wrong. Star Spangled Banner, as the name implies, is a banger. It's a great song. Like one of the best national anthems that's ever been created, right? Dun dun dun. Come on now. But Stars and Stripes Forever just has such hype to it. It ramps up, it ramps down, it edges you, and then you get an amazing release. It's just such a good piece of art. Come on, and the piccolo section. Come on. The national anthem doesn't have a piccolo section. Stars and Stripes Forever is a great song. You can't really sing along to it, right? It's not necessarily short. It's about 3 minutes. It's about the same length as your average Lil Xan song. A little bit longer, actually. So, not the most singable song, right? And it's not a song that you stand for before something. But if you're marching band, right? A marching band's going by. If you're just ready to jam, if you're ready to be an American, a true American, red-blooded, barefoot American, Stars and Stripes Forever is the way to go every single time. Come on now. But I have a show for you all today. We're going to be talking about the boy Bernie Sanders. We're going to be talking about Charlie Kirk. I hate that guy. Boomers. We're going to be talking about Andrew Yang. It's gonna be a heck of a time. We're gonna have fun, all right? What a great song. Thank you for blessing us. John Phillips Sousa, who is the author and painter behind the Stars and Stripes Forever. All right. Well, that was a beautiful start to the stream. Maybe I'll start every single stream with a tribute to the one true Lord. That's joking. I'm joking. To the one and only nation in the world, the United States of America. Anyways, but to wrap it back in, why did I play? Oh, I have a hair in my mouth. Oh no. Why did I play a national song? Well, it's because we're going to be talking about the nation. We're going to be talking about the true disrespect, spitting on the graves of those who risked their lives to keep us safe, right? Truly a disgrace to this nation. Jay-Z and Beyonce. Now, tiny face Charlie Kirk had a hot take a couple days ago, and by a couple days ago I mean like 8 days ago, over a week, and it was about how Jay-Z and Beyonce decided to go to the graves of the fallen soldiers, those white graves, press F to pay respects, and decided to pee on it, fill up balloons full of their own urine, and spray down the graves, and then uh, roll over the gravestones and do donuts in the middle of the field while our brave soldiers rest. This is what they decided to do. Is this true? Absolutely not. They just decided not to stand for the national anthem. Well, we'll see. Let me show you. Let me show all of you this this pure evil that we had to endure. So here's Mr. Tiny Face, Mr. Charlie Kirk, Carly Chirk. That's funny. Anyways, anti-American spoiled brats Jay-Z and Beyonce. Wow, he actually got the accent right. Wow, look at him go. Refuse to stand during our national anthem. This is why Black America is defecting from the Democrats. Ruling class hacks deserve to be exposed. Retweet to show the world their hatred for this country. Now, this is a fascism, for one. It's hilarious, right? They're the same people who want mandatory military service, like South Korea has, right? This is incredibly dumb, right? You don't have to stand for the national anthem, and I don't think you should be forced to, right? We have a First Amendment for a reason. Hatred, refuse to stand during our national anthem, hacks that deserve to be exposed. Imagine thinking this exposes, they're like, finally, it's time to enact our plot to destroy America. Let's stand. Let's not stand during what is this, a football game? During the beginning of a football game. What was this, the Super Bowl, I'm guessing? This is, and then someone's recording it. Look at them. They're not standing. How could they not stand? And apparently that's their little kid. I don't know. I don't keep up with them, but apparently that's their child or something along those lines. But this is why Black America is defecting from the Democrats. This is totally not true. This is Candace Owens' amazing Blexit plan, in her massive Blexit march that had 25 Black people there, and half of them were reporters. That pure disgrace that was the Blexit plan, and how Black people are still extremely with the Democratic Party, especially just in regards to voting, right? There's no massive movement away from the Democratic Party for Black people, mostly because there's nothing for them in the Republican Party. Ruling class hacks. I'm not sure if I'd call Jay-Z and Beyonce ruling class hacks, right? They make music and sell albums, and then they give some of that money away in charity. They don't really do anything. I haven't seen Jay-Z buy off any politicians or anything. I haven't seen Beyonce I haven't seen anything from Beyonce and their backroom deals. Trying to, I don't know, get better album prices. What would they even be doing? Do they have businesses? I'm not even sure. This is incredible to me. Am I a conservatism? I am pure conservatism. Yes. No, I'm not. I'm not conservative. But this is incredible to me, right? This is I remember, right? I grew up in a military family. All right? Me. I have a long line of servicemen and women in my family, right? From the Vietnam War to the Civil War to World War II to the Afghanistan wars, right? I have a long line of servicemen and women in my family, and I can't think of a single one of them who would be this irate about some random people. And Jay-Z and Beyonce, to the world, are still just random people, right? They're famous, right? They got money, okay. But they're still just random people when they're just living their life like this. They're enjoying their time sitting in wooden chairs at the Super Bowl. This isn't, the only reason that they care about this is to try to force down pure love, blind patriotism for the country, and try and force obedience, right? what do you think about John Delaney? Uh, AJ. Ooh, is that how you pronounce AJ Manta 31? Is that how you pronounce your name? If you would like to jot down the pronunciation of your name so I won't forget it. Thank you so much for that follow. I really appreciate it. We just started too. But they want to push blind obedience to the country. And these are the same people who complain over and over and over again about like the Democrats wanting to wanting you to be like super like subservient to the government. What is this besides being super subservient to the idea of the nation? Good Democratic candidate John Delaney. Yeah, he's truly a god among men. He's actually my second choice behind Newt Gingrich. Truly a great guy. John Delaney dropped out, didn't he? I wish Delaney and Jay Inslee switched places and Inslee stayed in longer than Delaney because Delaney is like a cool guy. Why would I vote Bernie? I really like his hair. I like when he I was raised in Brooklyn, so I like that he has a Brooklyn accent. He probably really likes pizza, and really that's the only true reason why you should ever vote for anybody, right? I mean, come on now. Did you see him play basketball? Come on, he's better at basketball than me. I'd vote Bernie because I like his healthcare policy the most. Healthcare is to be completely honest, healthcare is my biggest issue. And I've had lots of people in my family who have struggled with healthcare. I've had family pass away not too long ago because they didn't have access to healthcare. So his universal healthcare plan is something that I am staunchly behind, and we need to catch up to the rest of our sister countries in the world when it comes to healthcare. They've all moved in this direction. It all seems to be working out for them much better. They all have better healthcare outcomes than us. So that's the biggest reason. I have lots of other reasons. I like a lot of his policies, but that's the biggest reason. Dude had a heart attack a few months ago. You're right. Crazy, isn't it? He needs to drop out, focus on his health. I mean, he took some time off and focused on his health. He stopped campaigning as hard. I mean, he seems to be doing well so far. So what can you say? Hey, he's in better shape than Trump. Trump literally looks like Flubber. Well, there's a transition period, or they can transition to being for one, he can get it passed because we got the ACA passed. We can get M4A passed. Even easier actually. Well, we can go a different way without even breaking the filibuster. Actually, pretty incredible. Yes, he's in better shape than Trump. I will go by that. Yep, better. Have you ever seen Trump run? I haven't. Bernie Sanders is out there like playing basketball and baseball with like little kids and keeping up. Like, he's in better shape than Trump will ever be. I mean, cool, I guess. They said the same thing about Obamacare, and look where we are now with Obamacare passed. But back to like the 3 million jobs or whatever, right? So for one, there's a transition period for the company to either move to a different healthcare model, because not all healthcare will be banned. It's 78 on the brink of death. Well, he got a perfectly clean bill of health from his doctor, so he seems like he's not. But anyways, I mean, you just gonna say like we can't get anything passed? You can't do anything? We can't get anything passed? All right. Yeah, transition period. Pretty crazy, isn't it? There's like a period in between one thing and another where you can do things. Wild. And you can move to healthcare that's not covered by Medicare for All. It probably won't be passed exactly as it's written. There's probably gonna, you almost never come out of the negotiating room with the same bill you go in for. Do you know who Martin Luther King is? Yes. You mean the socialist civil rights guy? The socialist civil rights deuterino? He's kind of chill. Anyways, back to what we were doing. To be fair, a lot of people weren't standing from this chick. Doesn't fit the narrative. It doesn't, right? Lots of people don't stand at the national anthem. Does that mean that they don't hate the country? Probably not. They may be tired. They may not just want to get up. It's fine. It's fine. But like I was saying, I come from a long line of servicemen and women. It's fine not to stand for the national anthem. It's perfectly fine. You know what? They fought for your right not to stand at the national anthem, just like the same way they fought for your right to like beat your meat at home, to whatever disgusting filth that you're able to like dredge up on the internet without the government breaking down your home and throwing you into a re-education camp. They fought for your right to do that. Oh, hey Mecca, nice to see you. Bad Migraine. Yeah, 50 followers. I did it. And it was all thanks to AJ31. Truly a king among humans. I'll love you forever. Maybe I should print out their name and like tape it to my wall or something back here so we can always see it. Because they put me over the edge. And I hope your migraine gets better. I'm sorry about that. My mom gets migraines as well. Do you realize there's a guy trying to pass UBI, the same stuff? Wait, are you like wait, Joe? Oh, I remember you, Joe. King, absolute king shit. Big dick. Oh, it's you, Joe. What's up, Joe? You're the Yang guy. Welcome back, bud. Nice to see you. Wrote for an old white socialist who can die any day. Well, I mean, all of us can die any day. I mean, that's not saying much. And I would much rather Bernie Sanders, if he were to die in like the next 5 years, I would much rather him die in office than have anybody else in office. Facts. Because then his super sick vice president will just take over and just continue the dream. All right. Yeah, MLK fought for a UBI. True. MLK fought for a lot of things. That's part of Sanders' plan as well. Like, that's cool. No, he's 78 and he had a serious heart condition. His heart condition is now better. But anyways, moving on from that. This is one that I really wanted to look at, right? This is the tweet that I really wanted to look at. This is incredible. Coming from someone who's a proud American moderate conservative. Mind you, they call themselves a moderate conservative. And this just proves to me that there's no such thing as a moderate conservative anymore. There's really not, right? We have the only moderate conservative that I can think of off the top of my head would be like maybe Joe Scarborough, maybe. Like, I think he'd probably be he's a moderate Republican in some respects. Larry Hogan, he's the governor for Maryland, I believe. He's one of those New England states. He's the government. Larry Hogan. He's a moderate Republican. They love him up there. I don't agree with him on everything, but he's fine, right? This is not a stance from a moderate Republican. Anyone who does not stand for the national anthem should be exiled from this country and to a country such as Somalia or North Korea or Iran, so that they can appreciate what blessing it is to be born in America. Yes, finally, I can have my beautiful, pristine American dream where we discriminate, capture, and deport people who don't stand for our national anthem to a country where they kill and imprison people who don't stand for their national anthem. This beautiful, finally, it's left wing destroyed, my guys. Left wing destroyed. I should be ashamed of myself. Disgusting. You should be ashamed of yourself. And when I see the black community complaining about shit, guess what? I laugh. The guy is 78 years old with heart conditions. I think he is more likely to die sooner rather than later. I mean, probably, yeah. And that'd be a sad, sad day. He's a great guy. What a beautiful man. But you don't seem like the type of person who's really into like a conversation. You're just like really mad, which is sad. You know, we should have a good time here. I don't like to do politics all the time. I agree, politics. There's one reason why I don't like watch a lot of politics like all the time. Mostly because politics, to be left wing in politics is super draining. You care about a lot of stuff. People die, you care about it. People get like kidnapped, you care about it. People get thrown in prison for the rest of their lives, you care about it. Conservatives don't care about any of that stuff. They just blissfully ignorant of the world, and they enjoy every second of it, right? So what do you do? I see the black community complaining about stuff, and I feel bad for them. I want them to be better. But we'll get into Yang later if you want to stick around. But we're gonna talk about this right now. Yeah, like what happened? These people always want to remove the First Amendment. I'm telling you, dude. They complain about the left wanting to eviscerate the Second Amendment. They are actively, every single day of their lives, mauling over the fact that the First Amendment gives people the right to protest against the government, gives people the right to not stand for the flag, gives people the right to have their own thoughts and opinion about how the country should be taken, like gives people a right not to be persecuted by the government because they don't love the country the way that the government mandates. Like, I don't understand this. How is this like a conservative view, right? How? Like, I'm not conservative, right? But I think there are lots of conservatives out there that aren't this dumb. It's incredible to me. Yes, exile all of my political opponents who don't blindly follow everything in the land of the free. Incredible. The national flag and anthem are above partisan politics. This isn't partisan politics. This doesn't have to be partisan politics. And no, it's not. Not at all. Simply speaking, do not disrespect the national flag and anthem, the very symbols of liberty and freedom. I highly disagree with that. They're symbols of the country. They don't go any further than that. They don't reach into this like ethereal plane of the ideas of liberty and freedom and in America and Jesus Christ himself. Like, it's the symbol of a country, and that's all. It's a piece of fabric. It's a song. That's what it is. That's all it will ever be. That's all it will ever be. Just thought up by people to represent the country, and that's it, right? And we can evoke those feelings, and that's fine, right? I don't think that the over 100 years of military service in my family was all put together, culminated into this very moment to make sure that you are forced to stand for the national anthem. It's incredible to me. And these people mauling so hard. Who cares? I do. The people who died in horrible wars for that flag, this country, they died for the people. This country would be nothing without the people. And they didn't, like, I think, like, every time they think of like someone going to war for something, right? They think they're going to war for this ethereal idea of the country. They're going to war for the people to make sure they're safe. They're going to war to make sure there's no threat against the homeland, right? That's incredible to me. I'm blown away. I feel terrible that those precious young people sitting there don't realize how fragile freedom is, how in one cycle of a social democracy could shift everything to communism and their lives will be forfeit. Oh my gosh. Holy crap. Can you imagine believing that the country teeters on the edge, mere inches, no, nanometers, from falling into the great abyss having the tentacles of destruction grab the country and drag it to the bottom of the drag it to the bottom of pure degeneracy that is people having health care and not living in the streets and having a living wage. Can you even imagine such horrible instances that people don't die because they can't afford healthcare? Can you even imagine what a terrible world we'd live in? Communism, truly in its flesh, in the flesh. The money they made off Americans and do that thing is disgusting. Like, how does, like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? They act like they went to the graves of the fallen, like the memorial of the fallen soldier, and then rode like Gravedigger over it, and then did donuts, and just destroyed it or something. And we're like, I can't wait for this country to burn. And even if you say that, like, you're just as much as an American as someone who dry humps their American flag pillow every single night. Like, we're all gonna be fine. I feel bad for their kid learning to hate the country. This is learning to hate the country. Maybe they just didn't want to stand because they don't care, which is fine. Not caring about the national anthem is not the same as wanting the country to be bombed and like taken over, right? I mean, if America is so evil, if our nation is so horrible and oppressive, then why would you stay? Why would you ever try to make a place better? If you don't like oppression, don't try and fix it, just leave. This is massive amounts of projecting. Super arrogant, super dumb. Is anyone surprised they hate the US? Evil exposed. Evil. Evil. Wow. I hate these smiles. I hate the like the horse gum smiles. They make me so uncomfortable. I hate it so much. Protesting, I'm telling you, dude. Like, I don't get it. I really don't. I didn't think it was this hard to understand the Constitution, right? Like, protesting the government, not caring about like the processes of the government or like the nation as a whole, right? Or being agnostic is the most American thing that you could do. Maybe the most American thing you can do. Forget apple pie, forget stepsisters, forget walking barefoot to the local to the local gas station. All of these beautiful things that make our country what it is. Burning the American flag on your own property is the most American thing you can do, hands down. Like, in countries where you can't do that, right? You'd be executed on site. And we can do that here freely. And that's what makes America great. What are they talking about? If they want to sit, let them. I mean, true. I haven't bought a Jay-Z or Beyonce album, still probably won't. They don't get your pennies. My pennies. No. You can just watch it on YouTube for totally free. Disgusting, but not surprising. They hate the country. They hate my people. Wow, this is incredible. I'm blown away. Just because you're offended doesn't mean you're right. Thank you. Thank you, Charlie Kirk, for coming at. Oh, yikes. What is that? I don't know that one, Chief. Bro, I don't care. You are white. We don't talk about that, okay? Don't hate on white people. They're fine. Charlie Kirk, whatever he is, he's still fine in my heart. I love you. I love you, buddy. I love you. I love you. I want you to be okay, okay? Don't get hurt. I love you. But you're also very dumb. And please stop tweeting. It'd make everybody's life better. All right. That's enough for looking at Charlie Kirk because I'm very tired of seeing him. We can move on. We can move on to Chris Matthews, right? Now, I haven't watched this whole clip. And then we can move on to Yang a little bit. I'd like to move on to Yang after this, right? I did say I would talk about Bernie Sanders and Yang. So here's a video of Chris Matthews. And we all know Chris Matthews from Hardball with Chris Matthews, who stars Chris Matthews as Chris Matthews. It's really an interesting show. He's there. He talks. Wow, incredible. I love the 24-hour news cycle, but Chris Matthews is the grandpa at the Thanksgiving table who like goes on a tangent about like black people and like back in my day. He exudes boomer energy that could probably power a small Chinese city. This is incredible. And I'd like to show it to you all today. This video has nothing to do with Yang, just so you know. Yang is just here for filler. He's here for eye candy, all right? He's a beautiful man. So this is going to be a video where Chris Matthews started saying that he has views about socialism that he's happily willing to talk about in private with people, and then immediately starts talking about how if there's socialism, he's going to be executed in the middle of Central Park by Fidel Castro himself. Joseph Stalin will rise from his tomb in Moscow and hover over the pond into the U.S., find Chris Matthews, and personally throw him into a gulag that he designs himself through his like Green Lantern power ring that he was imbued with by Karl Marx himself, right? This is incredible, and I'd like to play it for you. Hold on. I hope everybody has their cringe suits on, because it's gonna get wild.
I have my own views of the word socialist, and I'll be glad to share them with you in private. And they go back to the early 1950s. I have an attitude about them. I remember the Cold War. I have an attitude towards Castro. I
was
believe
there.
Castro and the Reds had won the Cold War. There were executions in Central Park.
Dude, he's going.
And I might have been one of the ones getting executed. And certain other people would be there cheering, okay? So I have a problem with people who took the other side. I don't know who
Look at everything. They're so uncomfortable.
Bernie supports over these years. I don't know what he means by social. 1 week it's Denmark. We're going to be like Denmark. Okay, that's harmless. That's basically a capitalist country with a lot of good social.
He does explain literally every time he's the people ask about socialism. He's like Sweden and Denmark. But he's apparently Chris Matthews, who's like entrenched in electoral politics like every single day of his life, apparently still doesn't know what Bernie Sanders means when he says socialism. Apparently, I have no clue. What does he mean? Sometimes he says Denmark. Probably he's gonna throw me into a gulag where I get strung up by my pinky toes and beat with a tennis racket for not believing in socialism. Like, holy crap, dude. Are you all right? Grandpa, calm down. Grandpa, your peas are getting cold.
Social welfare programs. Denmark is harmless.
He's pretty clearly in the Denmark category, yeah.
Is he?
How do you know? Did he tell you that?
He did, yes.
That's what he says, and that's what his agenda calls for, right?
Yeah.
He's not calling for any.
Let's see.
Yeah.
We haven't seen a campaign.
What the heck, dude?
Yeah.
Are you sure? How do you know? Did he tell you that?
Well, I mean,
Yes, he did.
That's what he says, and that's what his agenda calls for, right?
Yeah.
He's not calling for.
Yeah, you're cutting into. yeah, there you go. Talking about facts and things that he actually said. But did you know about would you like to know about Venezuela? I remember Chris Matthews is having like Vietnam War, like Cold War flashbacks, right? Of the old like duck and cover. Like, can we pull this up? Like the duck and cover. Let's see. And this is what Chris Matthews thinks every time Bernie Sanders says the word socialism.
By the name of Bert, and the turtle was very alert. When danger threatened him, he never got hurt. He knew just what to do. He ducked and covered.
This is what they showed to like children back in the 50s when the Cold War was going on. Hey kids, you remember when you hear the nuclear bomb siren, make sure to duck and cover, just like Timmy the Turtle or Bert the Turtle. Look at him. He's so safe. Like this is what he sees. Every time Bernie Sanders talks about like socialism, I'm so worried about his health. Is he okay? Grandpa, calm down, please. He's like the old like great grandfather at the Thanksgiving dinner table where someone even mentions the election. He goes on this like incredible rant. Did you see he almost tired himself out? He had to take a moment to breathe. He's so scared.
Let's see. Let's figure that one out.
Well, we haven't seen a campaign yet where video of him praising the other version,
Right,
which is
and
Castro, has been used.
Well, but that's
Everybody's trying to like just push him back. Come on, bud, come back to reality. It's okay, Grandpa, it's okay. And he's like, no, Fidel Castro, he's gonna kill me. Oh no, dude.
Will be used.
That's a question
we
of
haven't
how
seen how that plays.
of how what the effect that has.
Well, what does he think of Castro? That's a great question. What did you think of Fidelismo? We all thought he was great when he first. I thought he was cheering like mad for him when he first went in, and then he
He's
became
got
a communist and started shooting every one of his enemies.
Holy crap, dude. Chris Matthews has been on a complete tear. He's been so scared ever since Bernie Sanders has been polling like decently well. He's been so scared that Bernie Sanders, once he gets into office, he's going to like all of his voters will rise up in a violent revolution and then like destroy everything and find his home and then like hang him in Central Park. Like, dude, you're gonna be fine, Grandpa. It's gonna be okay. He's not Joseph Stalin. He just wants to give you health care, Grandpa. It's all right. Calm down. I don't know if any of you guys saw, but he went wild over what was it? He went absolutely bonkers over Bernie Sanders when he was like, the voters gotta ask the real tough questions, like who's gonna help you out if you're in the middle of the street? And I think Klobuchar would. I think Warren would. I think Biden would. But I don't think Bernie Sanders would. I think he'd sit there and watch you die. And then once you get run over, he'd try to pick your pockets to see what you had left in your wallet. Like, oh, dude, chill. I know you don't like him. That's insane. And then Scarborough was on there, Joseph Scarborough, and he's like, "What do you think, Joe? Don't you think Bernie Sanders would accidentally hit you and then back up to make sure you won't get the insurance?" And he's like, "I don't know about that one, Chris. We could probably talk about something else." He's like, "I don't know, Joe. I don't know, Joe. He probably kill me." He's I'm so worried about him. I want to give him a hug. I need somebody please, if you're out there and you know Chris Matthews, please give him a hug. I don't think he's okay.
Okay, hold those thoughts on the Cuban Revolution. I have to go back.
He keeps going. He keeps going. They have to cut, dude. He's just gonna go on a 10-minute rant about like Fidel Castro and Joseph Stalin. Oh no, dude.
Room and Democratic presidential candidate.
Oh no, dude. And this is the part where you saw where it was Yang. I'm so worried about him. He's like a doomsday. I'm telling you, dude, he's a doomsday prepper. Ever since Bernie Sanders started running in 2016, I'm telling you, he's been spending every single dime that MSNBC shovels into his coffers to build like a doomsday bunker for when he wins and Bernie Sanders turns the entire world into his own personal Gitmo, his own personal gulag to destroy the outsiders, and then resurrect Karl Marx from the grave, beard and all. His beard is still immaculate. If you didn't know, it's mink oil. It's mink oil. That's what does it. I wish I could grow a beard. I can't. I mean, I can grow a beard. Not like I'm physically incapable of growing a beard. It's more like my job does not allow me to grow a beard. Yeah, this cuts off right before Yang. Like I said, this doesn't have anything to do with Yang. He is a conspiracy theorist. Chris Matthews. This is on par with the JQ. And I'll stand by that any day of the week, dude. This is on par with the JQ, not because Sanders is Jewish, but dude, he's wild. I feel so bad for him. He must be under such immense stress. I don't think he's a dishonest actor. I think he believes every single word that comes out of his mouth, and he's terrified. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we have like op-ed research on Chris Matthews, and you get him alone with like a cup of coffee, and he'll go off and being like, at this point, I think Trump would be a better president than Sanders. I'm telling you, dude. If it comes down to it, I'm quite sure that that Chris would probably vote for Trump over Sanders, which is wild. I'm so scared. I feel so bad for him. At no time was Chris Matthews at risk of being executed by Fidel Castro, etc. No, at no risk ever was this ever going to happen. This is 110% boomer energy. Don't laugh. I feel bad for him. He's scared. I want to hear more about this. Sounds like he's quoting like a it sounds like he's quoting a what is it, a Tom Clancy book, like Tom Clancy's The Revenge of Castro, where Castro is able to insert himself into all of the media and then forge a violent revolution in the US to take it over with pure socialism. This poor guy. Oh no, dude. That is indeed water. All right. I think that's about enough of Chris Matthews. I think we can move on. I don't know if there's much more to say about Chris. So let's move on to Yang. Well, this is something else. Let's move on to Yang. Now, my eyes are bleeding. That is much better. Thank you, Dark Mode. I love you. So, Yang has been having a tough time. His fundraising goals have not been getting met. His supporters are in a weird state where they want to have hope, but it's not looking too good. And he banked a lot on Iowa. Like, he was there for years. I'm quite sure he was there for years campaigning in Iowa, trying to get people out, trying to get people to vote, trying to spread his message to as many people as possible. And I don't hate Yang. I do not hate him. He is not my first candidate. I think he has a couple of good ideas. I don't like the way he'd like to implement Medicare for all. Not Medicare for all. His version of healthcare that was kind of a sham. I don't respect that. I don't like his UBI. I think a UBI would be cool. I don't think his UBI would be cool. I want to say that now, right? He just is what he is. He's that classic moderate New York style Democrat when it comes to like the fiscally conservative type. And you wonder how was that fiscally conservative, right? But the way he'd like to implement it would be you'd have to choose between the UBI or the other benefit programs that we have. And the way it would be implemented, people who wouldn't be on those benefit programs are always going to have an edge, and the people who get the least amount of help would be the people who we would assume UBI would be most useful for, which would be the extreme poor. Not saying they wouldn't get help, they'd get the least amount of help. So I don't like that. But I don't hate Yang. And what I do respect is that his supporters are very staunch. His supporters love him. His supporters remind me a lot of Sanders supporters, mostly because a decent portion of them are Sanders supporters, right? They like Yang. He's the new hot, fresh thing on the block. He's got some good ideas. He's a smart boy. Look, he's wearing his math pin. He loves math. Making intellectualism cool. All things that I respect out of Yang. But he banked a lot on Iowa, and it's not going to come through for him. It didn't come through for him. Getting 1.1% of the vote in the second round in Iowa, well, 1.1% of the state delegate equivalents, I believe, in Iowa is not a good showing at all. Even compared to how he's polling, was not a good showing. Now, he did get 5% of the vote, but he was polling about 5%. He did not overperform his polls. I think that's very sad. Even as someone who's not cheering for Yang, even though I don't care for Yang, I rarely talk about Yang. I think this is honestly the second time I've ever spoken about Yang on this stream, because I just don't think that he's much to talk about, right? In Yang Gang friends are switching over to Bernie. Yeah, they are. I would assume. Also, thank you, Omega Grep, for being here. Lots of Yang supporters are starting to jump ship, and I'll show a little thing in just a second, because it's clear now that he has no path. He just doesn't, right? It was clear to me that he had no path before, mostly because he chose one of the worst times to run for president. I honestly think it was a pretty bad time for Bernie to run for president as well. I think this 15-year span is just not a good time for Democrats to run, for like progressive Democrats. Well, progressive Democrats like an insurgent candidate like Yang. This election specifically, because people aren't looking for the best ideas. They aren't. You see poll after poll after poll, people aren't looking for the person who matches them in their political ideas and who thinks is going to take the country in the best direction. They just aren't. They're looking for someone who can beat Trump. That is the main goal, no matter what. Who's the best to beat Trump? Who's most situated for that? Who's the best to take the reins and take our country away from where Trump's been leading us? That's it. That's it. That's all. And everything else is thrown to the wayside. Yang is not that person. Well, at least not seen as that person in this election cycle. They don't see they don't feel his electability argument. They don't care much, because everyone isn't looking internally to see who matches them. They're looking externally to see. They're looking to the left. They're looking to the right. Like, who are you going to vote for? Who are you going to vote for? I don't know. Who are you going to vote for? I don't know. Who are you going to vote for? Right? They just want to know who can bring the party together and amass the most amount of votes to just win. That's it. It's just win. That's all. Right? And if Yang had a bigger movement, if in like the next couple election cycles he builds like a Bernie type movement, he could be that person, right? But then Trump's gonna be gone by then. He had to ride on like a hope and change model that like Obama did, and he just can't capture that. I don't hate him. I really don't, but he just doesn't have a path. And he banked everything on Iowa, and it's gone now. Who I think has the best chance against Trump? I think what only matters in this next election cycle is going to be 3 states: Wisconsin, Minnesota, and Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Those are 3 states that matter the most. And actually, I think those are the 3 states that matter at all. Those are the only states that Democrats have to flip to win the White House. That's it. Only those 3 states. And I think, honestly, if it's Pennsylvania and one of the other 2, it's only 2. But, they usually vote together, so it's 3. So I think whoever pulls the best there is going or can has the best ability to speak to those voters is probably going to be the person who has the best chance against Trump. And right now, that's Bernie Sanders. I've always been a beautiful Bernie bro. I've been on the Bernie bus since like 2017. So he got me into politics actually. So I'm partial to him. I love I love Medicare for all. That's what I want. That healthcare is my biggest issue. So I think Sanders is the best to beat Trump right now, just because the way he's polling, how he can talk to those working class voters up there, he has the best chance. I think it's harder for Yang to do that, and someone has to come through and show strength. I don't even think Bernie Sanders could have made this move if he was the Bernie Sanders of like 2015, right? If he started running in 2016, not 2016, in what is it? What's the year before 20? If he started running in 2019, we'd be looking at probably a Biden presidency, right? A Biden nomination still. What are you gonna do? He just couldn't amass the strength enough. He didn't have the look enough to get over the edge and get to beat Trump. Well, people wouldn't see him as the candidate to beat Trump, after he made this massive movement, after people see his fundraising goals, after people see the way he talks, that's what it goes. Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but a centrist candidate is not going to do well in the Rust Belt states against a faux populist like Trump. they're just not, right? If they look at the dude who at least says, I'm gonna bring back all these jobs. Look at the steel market. Look at the steel industry. Look at this. Look at the car industry. I'm gonna do all this. I'm gonna do all that. And then you have the centrist Democrat who's like, everything's already cool. Please vote for me. I love the status quo. They're gonna be like, yeah, I think I'll go for Trump. Right? We need a populist in there to talk to those voters. Without that, we just lose. And that's what Democrats used to do all the time, right? Democrats used to be that big working class party. That's the reason why the Rust Belt states have been voting solidly blue since the 1990s. And the only time they've gone red was 2016. I'm quite sure about that. I remember looking at that. Like the only time they've gone red in the last like 20 years has been in 2016. Because they're struggling as we move more away from a production economy to a service economy. They struggle, right? We can see what happened in Chicago. We see what happens in Detroit. There used to be steel and all these sorts of things, right? Yeah, I'm almost completely positive he would, or maybe it would have been Warren. Maybe, well, no, yeah, Warren would have got crushed. Warren 100% would be crushed in a debate. She can't debate. She can't. Especially against Trump, right? So you have to be good at debating. You have to show that you're strong, and you have to talk to working class voters. And the only candidate who can do that now is Sanders. So he has to get in, or we lose. Just facts. These are facts, right? This is true. Water is wet, the sky is blue. So do I support Sanders? I do support Sanders. Lux champ. I do. I love the boy. Actually, give me one sec. Where did I put this? Here. Hey, Splat. Nice to see you. Here is a Birdie Sanders sticker, a little Birdie Sanders sticker. There's a limited edition sticker given to one of the first batch of donators to the Sanders campaign 2020, right? But yeah, getting back to Yang, I don't hate Yang, and he banked everything in Iowa, and now he's gonna bank everything. Yeah, it's a really cute sticker. I'm probably gonna put it on my my laptop. I have a lot of other like left wing stuff on there as well. I might as well drop it on there. I keep all of my oh, actually, on my phone, I have my first ever voting sticker that I ever got from voting in the 2018 election, because that was actually the first election I could ever vote in. So now Yang is gonna bank everything on New Hampshire, and I don't think it's gonna come through for him. And we can see here on his website, right? Let's reload, because this graphic is actually really cute. Look at him go. He's running, and he picks up the little counties, and his goal is to raise $2 million before the primary. And guess when the primary is? Tomorrow. He's just over halfway. His donations have slowed down incredibly after Iowa. And he has no path forward. And I do feel bad for him. And I feel bad for his supporters. Because every time you look at a pro-Yang, like, you look at the pro-Yang subreddit, you look at pro-Yang, like, no problem, see you, bud. Nice. Thanks for being here, as always. You look at pro-Yang, like, YouTube channels, and they're just full of despair and, like, hope and hopelessness, and they're starting to fall into like despair. And some guys are like, all right, I don't care, we're not gonna win the nomination, I'm gonna write in Yang. Like, I mean, I'm sorry, bud, we need to make sure we get these people into the Bernie train. Yeah, if yeah, no problem, see you later, bud. If Yang has to drop out, I hope he comes in behind Sanders and like woos his supporters there that way. He really likes Bernie, and Bernie really likes him, so I think they could work something out there. Why do I like Bernie? LuxGem. Sorry. Yes, I was gonna get back to that. I was talking. I'm sorry. Why do I like Sanders? I like Sanders because he's very consistent on his policies. Obviously, regular Bernie bot answer. He's been consistent for a lot of years. The best candidate on race issues. Best candidate on what a Democrat should be, right? I think it's really funny that an independent has to come in and straighten out the Democratic Party because they've lost their way this hard. Money out of politics, like corporate money out of politics, is incredibly important to make sure that we have a well-functioning democracy. That's incredibly important. And he's the only candidate on stage who's actually committed to it. He's the only candidate on stage who hasn't taken like a super PAC money or wants to take a super PAC money, because Warren said she wouldn't take super PAC money in the primary, but in the general she would, which is disgusting and lying, and I don't respect that at all. My number one issue is healthcare. I've had lots of family struggle and pass away due to not having access to healthcare, or good access to healthcare, or affordable access to healthcare. So a Medicare for all system is a system that all of our sister nations have, and they all have better healthcare than us. They have better outcomes than us. They have longer lifespans than us. They have better affordability than us. Their healthcare system is better for treating people's illnesses and preventing illnesses. They lap us, right? And they're much smaller countries with much less money. So that's why Sanders is my pick. Mostly, healthcare is my number one issue. He's the number one healthcare president. Do I believe in forcing everybody into public, even if they're covered in private? Right. I think we need to get out and have people understand what a Medicare for all system like is. For one, I'm not sure where I stand on having it like mandatory that you have to have health, like the government's healthcare. I know that we have to have everybody pay into it through taxes, because that's just how it should work. That's the only way it can work, because healthcare is different from chairs. Healthcare is different from a car, right? You can't really negotiate prices. The system, the market-based system fails in a healthcare system, because you can't really negotiate prices while you're having a stroke and you're being taken to the hospital in the back of an ambulance, right? You can't do like price compare, right? You just can't, right? So it fails in that way. So we have to have a system that mediates that. So I think the government doing its job, which is provide for the people and make sure that they're, healthy and happy. That's like what our government's like meant to do, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, is a much better system to go in, right? I'm not sure how I feel about having it mandatory, like you have to have this insurance and there's no room for private insurance. I highly doubt we're even going to get that. I think that's the first thing to probably go if we're going to be negotiating on this, probably. But if it were to happen, I'm not necessarily against it personally. I think everybody afterwards would be in a much better situation. Even if they don't agree with it at first, they just be in a much better situation. Because we can see, like, with other countries, no other country wants to move to our system. There's no country that wants to move to our system at all. Like, you tell people what we go through, like, with healthcare in, like, Canada or any other European country, Germany, like, it's not gonna, they're in shock about what happens. Yeah, you have much better standards in healthcare. Now, one thing that probably needs to be taken care of, right, is that Americans are much more likely to go in for like other forms of care while in the medical system because, their insurance is going to pay for it, right? So overcare is a big thing. So we have to, deal with that. Here, we deal with overcare by making sure it's too expensive or like deductibles, right? So it's too expensive to go in for another x-ray. You just can't. You don't have the money to do it. And everybody who does have the money to do it can do it, but that pool has been shortened so far that most people who probably want to can't. In other places, that's done with, like in Canada, that's done with like wait lines, right? So to go in for like your 5th x-ray would take you another like a week, right? And I'd much rather have like a problem, like the same problem that Canada does with wait lines than people not being able to afford their care, which is a much more dangerous situation. And even in Canada, right? Even in Canada, where they have even places in Canada where they have the worst wait lines, they still have less people dying because they don't have access to care than in the US. So even if that was a problem, it'd be a hop, skip, and a jump forward than where we are today. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. And Trump has no plans for healthcare. He wants to gut healthcare and take it back to where if you can't pay for it, you just die. that's where Republicans want to take you, right? There's like a little analogy that I've been milling over for a long, long time, and it's called like Republican Airlines, right? And in Republican Airlines, people who can pay more have access to the exits, and people who pay less have no access to the exits in case of an emergency where you have to, evacuate the plane. Like if the planes crashed into the ocean or something, and you gotta get people out, the stewardess, your seatbelts won't unlock if you're in like coach, and the people in and the people in first class get out first in the rafts. They have first pick of the rafts. Like that's Republican Airlines, and that's more like a Trump type plan or a Republican type plan because they're paid off by the health insurance companies, right? And I think it's really sad because lots of people who would be helped the most in southern states, in Midwest states, where people are dreadfully poor, are going to be the ones who benefit the most from a universal healthcare plan, are the ones who are more brainwashed to be staunchly against it. Which is sad. It's very sad. Yeah, the US we have wait lines as well, but we have wait lines and price to have it be the problem. But yeah, Lux Champ, if you're still here, that's why I support Sanders over any other presidential candidate. He's just better. But I feel bad for Yang, and he's not gonna make it. He's just not. He's not. The only people who can make it now are Bloomberg, which people forget, but he's rising, dude. Do I have Real Clear pulled up? The only people who can make it now are Bloomberg and Bernie. That's the only two. Here's the New Hampshire polls. We can look at the national polls, and this is beautiful. This is a beautiful thing. Look at that green line go. Ooh, ooh. 23.0 versus 22.7. You love to see it. And we can take a look at Yang. When was Iowa? Yang has been on the downswing ever since the Iowa caucuses started to come up. We can see the 29th. He was at, where's his number? Does it change? No. Oh, yes, it does. I can see it. He was at like 4.6 on average. He jumped up to 4.9. And ever since, he's just been falling and falling and falling. And then when was the caucuses? It was the 3rd, right? And after the caucuses, he went from 4.3 and he's just been nosediving. He's just been going even further down, and he's on like a pretty bad downswing. He's at 3.0 right now. Yeah, it's really sad that the Overton window is so far right. You couldn't even talk about like a universal health care plan without being like labeled as like a mad socialist who's gonna throw the party into like a communist Russia, like pseudo like satellite gulag for Russia to come in and grope us from behind. Like, it's incredible. No, Bloomberg has been dumping hundreds of millions of dollars into Super Tuesday ads. So this is why you see his numbers going up, right? Actually, in the last poll, Bloomberg was at 12. Above Buttigieg. Oh, my bad. That's his average polling. He was at 15. Above Warren, above Buttigieg, obviously above Klobuchar and Yang and all the rest of them. 15. He was, what was it? He was 3rd in this poll. He was 3rd. Bloomberg was 3rd. It's because he's just been, yes, we can all be a mad socialist. We can move away from Destiny's omniliberal and finally become mad socialists. But yeah, Buttigieg was a little bit on the upswing here. He moved up to 8.3. I'm quite sure that's going to come down. He has no path through the country. After we get out of these states that are 90% white, he's going to struggle hard because he can't pull Latinos, he can't pull LGBT, and he can't pull black people or Asian people, right? He can't pull any of these people. Yeah, but Bloomberg has just been bumping up in name recognition. He's almost next to Warren on average polling, especially in Super Tuesday. Like the Super Tuesday states is gonna be wild. Like it's gonna be a Biden versus Bloomberg. My bad. It's gonna be a Sanders versus Bloomberg race. It just is, which I'm happy for, because Biden's hubris. That's the one thing he shares with Clinton. His extreme hubris is going to be his downfall, and hopefully the downfall of the centrist wing of this nominating process. Because if Warren collapses, which he's probably going to, if Warren falls off, which he's doing, and Biden falls off, but he's still in the race, and people still like, oh, well, he was the vice president to that one black guy, so I think he's kind of cool. And he's still there, and Bloomberg's there. They're gonna split the vote super hard, and it's just gonna be a Bernie runoff. It's gonna be a Bernie runoff, and we have a very good likelihood of running off with this nomination. We have a very good likelihood of running off with this nomination. Very, very good. So we'll just have to see. But Yang has been struggling really hard. He's just passed over halfway to his fundraising mark, which is an hour away. So he's not going to make it. Sure, but lots of boomers don't really care about that. Bogue. Sure. But lots of like middle-aged people, they don't really care about that. They're like, "Oh, Bloomberg. He's a nice. What a nice young man. Look at his sweater vest. What a nice guy." You know, that's what they don't really care about anything else, you know? He looks electable. Oh, what a nice young man. You know, it didn't work for Biden when we were like, "Hey, remember when he was caucusing with the Dixiecrats and like actual like real life segregationists in Senate? Remember when he did that?" And they were like, "Yeah, but remember when he was like remember when he like pointed and smiled at Obama and Obama pointed back? That was a really nice moment, a very touching moment." You know, they don't really care. Or, you know, you say that about Bloomberg, but as far as I know, New York has black people in it, and they wouldn't vote for him if he was that bad, would he? And then, you know, they just internalize that. They don't really care. So Sanders versus Bloomberg race. Biden's going to be in it. Warren's probably going to be in it for a little bit. Klobmentum is coming, though. Look at Klobuchar rising. Absolutely mad. What's she in New Hampshire? Look at that. Look at the Klobmentum. Yeah, Boomer's going to boom. 100%. Look at the Klobmentum, guys. Look at her. 8.7. She used to be down here. She used to be polling like a whole point below Yang. And after January, Klobmentum has just been pulling her through. Look at it. At this rate, by tomorrow, she'll be at like 30%. She's going to beat Sanders in New Hampshire. And every time I'm on Real Clear, I don't know about you guys. Klobuchar, she's not. See, like, it's just boomers. She's powered by Boom, right? Her policies aren't even that bad. She's not even that bad. She's like the Midwest. She's like the Midwestern sort, kind of centrist. She has some policies that aren't too bad. You know, but she's just like extremely uncharismatic. She has no personality. She's a walking, talking, like a prompt reader. But you know, some people like her. Look at Amy go do the Klob dance. Do the Klob dance. Yeah, she's soaking up some of this woman vote. Like, as you can see, Warren since Iowa has just plummeted. She's plummeting, and Klobuchar is taking up the vote. Klobuchar is actually above, on average, polling above Warren right now. Klobmentum, guys. People laugh. They laugh. Next time you turn around, you're gonna, you know that map of like Jeb Bush, going like, that's gonna be Klobuchar. Like, how's the primary gonna turn out? And the whole map is yellow, and it's all Jeb. It's all gonna be Klob. Klob gonna take this whole thing. Just like every single time you see a debate, and MSNBC is like, Klobuchar had a really good night. Wow, what a nice night she had. Wow, look at her polling at 2.0% in New Hampshire. What a nice night she had, right? I don't know. The race is being shaken up so hard, and it's what you're seeing. I believe. Here's my thing. Here's my my prediction. What you're seeing is a lot of the Biden support now falling away to these other candidates who they feel have a chance. So Biden, I think Biden voters' second choice is Sanders. which is if you didn't know, Sanders and Biden share a lot of voters. If we look back to when Biden actually got into the race, this is when he announced, and he was his peak at 41% of the vote. And if you look, actually, it's interesting because Biden's peak is actually Bernie's lowest point. When Biden was at 41%, Sanders was at 14.6. It's because they share voters. And ever since then, after Biden goof, after Biden gaff, after he calls a voter a dog-faced pony soldier, after he calls a voter fat for asking if his son had some shady dealings in the Ukraine, after he was fourth in Iowa, those voters are coming back to Sanders. They're like, well, Biden, he can't make it. So I guess we're going to have to go with Sanders because he seems like the second strongest, which he is. He's the first strongest, but in their mind, he feels like the second. And these people who are like the rats fleeing the sinking ship, I don't want to call them rats. I don't want to call the voters rats, but just, my analogy. You see, people moving. And now while Biden crashes, his support goes to other people like Bernie. As you can see, a little tick up for Warren too, a little tick up for everybody. As Biden crashes, everybody gets a tick up. Like Bloomberg, obviously, Buttigieg, obviously, Warren and Sanders, all of them. So this is the state of the race. And I think it's going to be Biden completely crashes. His hubris is kind of make sure that he stays in the race because he can't lose for a fourth time, can he? He can't lose running for president for a fourth time, can he? Can he? He can, and he will. So what are you gonna do? If you guys have any remarks, you guys have any some hot takes to throw my way, I'd love to hear them. What's South Carolina looking like? We haven't been getting many polls like at all. Actually, we can take off light mode. What's your state if you mind doxing yourself? Kansas. Ooh, we have a Kansas brother. Kansas is really interesting because back after the Red Scare and McCarthyism, even through that, Kansas had the highest number of actual socialists in its state party. It's really interesting. Kansas was actually a pretty good state when like far left, legislators were in the state. And then, I'm not sure how much you're into Kansas politics or what Kansas has been going through. But I heard there was like a really big problem with, what was it? Schools. Like the Republican Party there tried to do something like shifty with the schools, and then it turned out terrible, and they were like reverse course. It was like workers or something. I forget the actual story. It's been a while. Yeah, but it's just been gerrymandered incredibly hard. Biden's still leading pretty well. This poll. We don't have a poll from South Carolina after Iowa. Like I'm telling you, dude, we have not been getting polls at all. Oh, look at the betting odds. Look at these super weird betting odds. Here it is, boys. Like I'm telling you, the bettors are on it. It's gonna be a Bloomberg versus Sanders race at the end of the day. Kansas is like Kansas is a really interesting state. I think the Midwest is really interesting, actually. He gave business taxes to 0% and then like destroyed the economy or something, didn't it? And Trump tried to do the same thing. Beautiful, great, isn't it? Don't you love it when you drain the swamp by giving the swamp all of your money, by flooding the swamp with all of the like poor people's money? Isn't it great? I love it. Oh man, look at this massive 53%. The beautiful 53.4%, with a massive Warren bump was there. Look at her now. It's so sad what happened to Warren's campaign. Jeez, dude. I wonder what they're doing. See, this is so weird. Clinton's on here, isn't it? Clinton is the yellow line here. Clinton's at 4.8%. People are actually betting on Clinton to win, and Obama. Cuomo. People are betting on Cuomo. And Duval Patrick. I love it, dude. It's a beautiful thing. Can you see the day after on what? The betting odds or what was the last debate? Oh, the next one is at the 25th? Huh. Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember what time that was. The 15th? Yes, this is the back at the 15th. So it would probably won't show too much. This is where this is when the debate happened, and then the fallout from the debate. She was falling pretty steadily in the betting odds, so it's not really like a big jump. You didn't really see anything. When it comes to the national polls, let's look at the national polls. Let's see what happened during that. It was the 15th, wasn't it? Here's the 15th. Here's when the debate happened. So it didn't really do anything for her numbers at all. Nothing really happened. She didn't really gain much support. And through that whole thing, Sanders was just like gaining support and gaining support and gaining support. So it didn't really do much for her. Oh, well, it's probably when the this is probably right here. The 8th is probably when it actually came out that she was like, he told me that a woman president would get butt fucked, and I disagreed. And then she got this little bump, and then he came down a little bit, and then afterwards, after the debate where he defended himself, it's just he skyrocketed, team rocketed into the moon. It was the Iowa debate, right. It was the Iowa debate in Des Moines in the 15th. Yeah. So it gave her a little bump, but afterwards, after the debate happened on the 15th, it just, it fell off, and Sanders has been rocketing into the moon. So I don't feel like her campaign has much steam left in it. She's about to be passed by Bloomberg, who's probably just going to be doing better and better and better and better in these states, which is, I want to say it's surprising, but it's really not with the state of how garbage American politics actually is. It's not really surprising that people think the billionaire who bought his way into the general election, the literal, Vogue, it didn't play. Did it play the sound? Wait, my headset's off. I didn't hear that. Let's play it again. There you go. I love you. I love you, brother. Thank you so much for that follow. I really appreciate it. Where are my widgets? Ah, there it is. That's why I didn't see it. It's because it's under. There you go. There it is. There you go. Now you can see yourself. Because it was under my with my layers, it was under my screen capture. So it's just under everything. I was like, why can't I see anything? There you go, bud. So you finally get the recognition you deserve. I really appreciate that. Who's your second choice now? She's still my second choice. Like, obviously, she's a slithering, slimy snake. We know this. And Pete is a rat-faced liar. We have the whole barnyard here with Warren the snake and Pete the rat. But she's still my second choice. I'd still have her over Biden. I'd still have her over Buttigieg. I'd still have her over Bloomberg. right? And those are the only ones who even appear to have an inability to go anywhere with this, right? And I'd work as hard as anyone else to make sure that she defeats Trump. But only 3, right? Yeah. Even through this whole thing, Gabbard never took off. Gabbard never went anywhere. After all the people who are actually like running, she hasn't been on the debate stage since like July. I still feel so bad for her. No one talks about her. No one cares. I don't keep up with her. Like, it's just kind of sad. It's really sad what's been going on. Yeah, probably I'd say the same. Like Bernie Warren Yang, you know. But I'm not Bernie or bust. Bernie or bust is really dumb. Here's my take on Bernie or bust, actually. For one, it's really dumb. Harm reduction is better if we have 2 candidates and one says they want to build 5 concentration camps and one says they only want to build 1 concentration camp and 5 is just a step too far. I'm going to be voting, and the dude who wants to build 5 concentration camps is like looking like he and it's like a tough race, and looks like the dude who wants to build 5 is on there and really wants to do it. I'm going to be voting for the dude who only wants to build 1. I'm sorry. Harm reduction is important. And even if it's Biden and Biden versus Trump, and Biden calls Trump a malarking, spewing, hog-nosed, walrus fiddling a pony soldier, I'd still vote for him. And I think all the cringe lords who are like Bernie or bust are just really dumb. I don't agree with it whatsoever. Oh, Omega Grep. Thank you so much for that follow. Thank all of you for following, and thank you everybody for who's not even following, who's not even talking, for just being here. I have no clue how many people are watching, but because I make sure I turn off my my followers, because I don't want to be looking at it the whole stream. Just everybody who's here, everybody who's enjoying their time here, I appreciate you. So yeah, what are you gonna do? Yeah, vote blue no matter who. But yeah, here's my take on the Bernie or bust people. I think most of the Bernie or bust people, like 60%, probably 60% or more, are people who weren't gonna vote in the first place. I was reading this. What was it? Let's see. It was called "Is This Bernie's Party Now?" Here it is. This, if you haven't read this, opinion piece in Politico, this is a really good article. I was reading this at work. It's a bit of a read. It's a pretty long read, but it has pictures, and we all know we love pictures. It goes through Bernie's history running, from running from the mayor of Burlington to being a House member, to being a senator, to being where he is today. It's a bit of a read, and it has really interesting pictures, and it goes through all of his history, and like the enthusiasm behind him. And it's a really, really good article. And I'd suggest all of you, if you have the time, to go read it. It's actually really informative and really nice. As you can see here on a debate in 1990, it goes back all the way to the 70s with him. Read it for you? I'm not gonna read it for you. Pussyfoot. You need a bedtime story? You want to hear post link? Yeah, here you go. Don't read it now because I'm streaming, okay? Here you are. But yeah, it's a bit of a read, but it really is a great article. No problem. You need a bed. I'm not gonna read to you. All right. I've done that before. I was thinking there have been a couple people who want me to be like a voice actor or something, or like I used to read poems. I have like a small YouTube channel that I used to post me like reading poems and stuff, because there was a time where I really wanted to be a voice actor. But I'm not going to show it to you. You'll never find it. You'll never find it. It's just me like reading poems and like game snippets. There could be 1,000 people watching. I could be the new what is it? I could be the new freaking like Destiny. I could be Destiny, or who's a big streamer? Let's see, who's a big streamer? Name a big streamer for me. Lyric. I could be Lyric right now. It's incredible. I could have like 10,000 people watching me. I'm Ninja. It's me. I'm the ninja of politics. Okay. So yeah, I think that's about all that I had to talk about. Poor little Yang. I feel bad for him. He's not going to be doing too much. Oh, there was honestly, Politico's been putting out some pretty nice articles. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if y'all keep up. Politico's actually been doing some work. And I'm excited about tomorrow. I think we can win. Actually, let's look through. Let's find the Yang subreddit. Also, you know what? You know what's probably been fueling Bernie's like rise in the polls? Probably that Yang for president. That's not it. Yang gang. Here it is. Bernie's rise in the polls has been what is it? I'm once again asking you for financial support. Can't get popular without edgy bad takes. I have to have a edgy bad take. Edgy bad take. Here we go. All right. Hold your horses, boys. A Pop-Tart is a sandwich. So is a hot dog. Sorry. And the best pizza is a cheese pizza. And the best part of a pizza is the crust. Facts. These are just facts. I'm just laying down facts. Have any of you guys had a Domino's? I'm from New York, okay? All pizza, all the fast food joint pizzas are worse than any other pizza, right? But all the fast food pizzas are worse than like hole in the wall mom and pop shop, downtown, barefoot, bald headed, like pizza joints where a bunch of 17-year-olds are blasting Tupac and making pizza in the back, right? All of that is worse. But I don't know if you guys have ever had a Domino's 12-inch handmade pan pizza. That crust is probably some of the best crust I've ever had. It spoiled me. I'm spoiled now, right? I'm spoiled now. It's like the people who start jerking off with like a fleshlight and now can't use their hand anymore. They become like a little princess and they can't use their hand anymore. That's me now. When it comes to yeah, you'll die. Domino's crust on the pan pizza is the best. If you cut off all of the pizza and gave me like a bunch of like fresh out of the oven Domino's pan pizza crust, I wouldn't even be mad. I'd be like, thank you. Your favorite is Pangano? I have no clue what you're saying. I don't speak Mexican. Anyways. I'm just saying. 30 minutes away? Dude, where do you live? Bufu, Egypt? What the heck? 30 minutes away, Domino's. Jeez. Am I finally canceled? You know what this horrible hot take that I heard? I was the other day, last time I streamed, you could watch it if you would like. I was streaming with a person named Mecha Sloth. He was here. He's a trans man. I was talking with him about trans issues and disability issues and all this like important stuff that's super emotionally draining but very important nonetheless. And I forgot where I was going with this. My train of thought has been, you know that scene in Polar Express where the train goes off of the rails and onto like the frozen lake and it starts slipping and sliding around like a grease pig on a slip and slide? Like that's where my train of thought. It's just gone now. It's gone. It's all gone. But no, here's the Yang subreddit, right? Not donating because he might not making goal anyways, waiting to donate to be a part of the last minute surge, donating more now to close the gap, right? And they still have hope, right? And he still has rallies, and they're not bad rallies, and people are excited to see him. You know, $500. I like this. This is what happens in the Sanders for President subreddit, right? You advise people to donate. You talk about things. You know, $200, $500. I donated $35 to the campaign. With less than 3 hours to raise $1 million. We gotta go. Let's see what this one's about. The new Yang Gangers got to stop up for those of us for over a year, pretty tapped money wise. Problem is there isn't enough. I'm tapped out. We won't hit this goal, unfortunately, and it's fine. The next 24 hours are so important. If he shows any viability, a bunch will flock back to him. I don't think so. I think his campaign's already over. The death rattle was Iowa, and it's just hard to see him come back. It really is. Yeah, kind of. They are in denial. It's really sad. They're in part of the stages of death where they're like, this can't be happening. It's really sad to see the denial. I think they probably need to accept that he's not gonna win. Can't wait for another 4 years of Andrew Yang. You know? Yeah, this was 6 hours ago. Oh, 6 hours ago, he wasn't even halfway to his mark. Please contribute. You know, they're working really hard to get him over the edge. I just don't know. Yeah, if he had some political experience, maybe he goes back to New York or something. Or I don't know where he lives now. He probably lives in New York. If he goes back to New York or something and then becomes like a congressperson or whatever, get some political experience, you know, get some ties to the great frothing underworld of our political scene, like he could probably be fine, right? He could probably be fine. Probably not president, but I think he'd be a good senator at the very least. Whether you think Andrew Yang can win or not, you're right. 200,000 calls today. Can it be done? And you see, I just see the how many people are online? 23,000 out of 100,000. What? My bad. Yeah, 23,000 out of 100,000. It's just falling apart. It's just falling apart, dude. There's this one channel that I remember looking at, and it was just full of denial. It's like the once he has this interview, he's gonna shoot up in the polls. Okay, he didn't. Well, once we show up here or there, he's gonna explode in the polls, and then he didn't, and then we're gonna shock the world, and we're gonna win Iowa, and then he very, very much didn't. And then, forget Iowa. We don't need it. We're gonna go to New Hampshire, and it's not gonna work out there either. I think it's okay. I think it's good to have realistic goals, you know, and it's fine to donate to him. And I hope he can take this and then parlay it into something else, like Sanders was able to do. He built this massive coalition and then took it to, you know, lobby. Lobby Amazon to give their workers better a raise. I keep asking him who he thinks Yang will support if he drops out. He keeps saying Yang is gonna win, and so why would he support anybody else? Yeah, dude. Cope. They're coping. It's coping, and it's really sad. And I think it's actually unhealthy. It's not good for you. It's really not. You should have realistic expectations and realistic goals, right? So could be last donation round for the campaign. Yeah. Here's the cold reality: if we don't raise 2 million by Monday at midnight to get the top finish here in New Hampshire, it might not be another debate with Andrew's voice. Yeah. He basically gave his supporters an ultimatum, and he was like, "Hey guys, if I don't, this is why I was harping on it. I didn't explain it, but he was like, hey guys, after tonight, if we don't reach this 2 million goal, I can't make it." So that's why they've been pushing this so hard. That's why you've been seeing so many donation receipts, right? Because they're really, really wanting to get there, and he won't make it. There's not enough gas in the tank. People phone banking. I mean, that's nice and all. Can't thank the Yang Gang enough. Yeah, people are saying their goodbyes. You know, it's like when your goldfish dies and you do a little funeral for it before you flush it down the toilet. No, I don't want to crap on Yang Gangers. They're like I said, I have a lot of respect for them. I have a lot of respect for the devotion that they have to their candidate. Yeah, let's see. Let's sort by new. Let's see what's going on. Nevada Democratic Party just hired the paid Buttigieg. Blah blah blah. Ooh, boobies. I love humanity thirst. You know what was cringy about a lot of the Yang supporters was the guys, everything is too political today. That's why I support Andrew Yang. Andrew Yang is not left. Andrew Yang is not right. Andrew Yang is forward. Please donate. Please donate. Please. Please donate. Please donate. Math. Please donate math. He does math. That was just cringy to me. That was like the enlightened centrist sort of I'm not left or right, but and then they go on a tangent about like super far right like policies that they believe. Yang up to 5% in a Reuters Ipsos poll. Guys, mauled. Absolute. It's just kind of sad. As a big dollar donor. This is a big spender. Directly rip off of Canada's Green Party slogan. Listen, you got to get inspiration from somewhere, all right? Where do you think the Mona Lisa came from? Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yes, I love eating cringe. Don't eat too much cringe. You can only... Splat, we talked about this. You can only have a little bit of cringe as a treat. You're going to ruin your dinner. Don't stop. You're going to have to stop. Cringe. Stop. So, yeah, I think that's about it for Yang. So, tomorrow is going to be the end of the Yang campaign. It just is. This is gonna be the end of the Yang campaign. And I don't know how his followers are gonna take it. They're gonna take it pretty hard. It's like breaking up with your girlfriend, right? Like a super clingy girlfriend. You gotta break the news somehow. There are people crowd surfing. I love, dude. Bernie campaigns are actually just like concerts now. They're just concerts, which is super sick. I love the guy. I love that guy, dude. How can a 78-year-old Brooklyn native, Brooklyn Jew, be younger. Yeah, the Stokes were playing. Yeah, be young. I love that he brings like little, like even small bands. Yeah, you can post the link, bud. I love that he brings even like small bands up to play for his what is it? His rallies. It's a beautiful thing. I love that, man. Amazing how a 70-year-old senator, the senior senator from Vermont, Brooklyn native, who probably doesn't know how to use technology too much, is younger and more lively than any of the younger candidates on stage at any point in time. There's one other thing I want to do. What's this? What? Oh. Oh. Speaking of cringe, Green Party candidate sporting a familiar slogan: "Not left, not right, forward." Dude, I didn't even know this was true. They just stole that. Yoink. It's always been their message. Is hilariously left. Yeah, they're very left. I'm quite sure the Green Party is left. They thought, did they? They thought Yang was spreading to Canada? Holy crap, dude. That's hilarious. Bro, that's like the what is it? You remember that meme where they're like, man, they made Fortnite into a real thing? Or wait, let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Wait a second. Are you gonna open? Please open. I need this. This is what I see. The message is spreading. This is what I see. Lomao, they made the shopping cart from Fortnite into a real thing. Guys, they made the shopping cart from Fortnite into a real thing. Guys, they did it. This is... They made the shopping cart into a real thing. Bro, who knew? That's funny. That's hilarious, dude. See, I think Bernie's slogan is not me, like not me, us, is actually hilarious. I actually miss those memes. Those are like actually funny memes. Those are actually like funny memes. Like this. Oh shit, they made Minecraft into a real thing. Whoa, dude. People are incredible. Guys, Minecraft is spreading. Look. It's spreading. That's a really good cosplay. Minecraft cosplay, guys. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. This is why I put on the the change tab page. This is why I put on the intermission page while I'm scrolling. Guys, Minecraft watermelon. That's hilarious, dude. Not me, us is actually a pretty good slogan. I don't know what you guys think. Wait, let's go to the Buttigieg subreddit. How do you... Is that how you spell his name? I think I spelled it right. Did I actually spell it right? Oh, whoops. Let's go back to actual subreddit. Actual Reddit. Oh, really? Oh, did I actually spell it right? Actually, whoa, dude. Where's the Buttigieg for president subreddit? Is it just like r/Pete Buttigieg? It is. It is. Look at, you know how you can change the this many people in the Reddit and this many people looking actually online. 39.1 winning the era and 1.4 changing the channel. This is cringe. Changing the channel. Winning the era. This is not good. This is bad. Aren't all the supporters bots? Nah, dude. All the supporters are like wine moms who think they're woke because they're voting for a gay guy. It's Reddit boomers. Can you even imagine? You're like, guys, we're changing the channel. Ooh, we're winning the era. Ooh, booty judge. There was one thing in here where they were like crapping on this like trans woman because she was like genuinely asking, how does Buttigieg's like healthcare plan better than Sanders? And then they couldn't give her a straight answer. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Did you see that he's actually Jeb Bush? Did you see that he was caught like faking applause lines for his videos, for his like campaign videos? They had to like copy paste like cheers and claps onto his speeches that he gives. Pretty cringe. Yeah. Changing the channel. Winning the era. Hollywood clap sound effects. Wait. I want to see it. Can I find this? I can't spell. Applause. Can I just find the applause sound effect? This is what they did. Honestly, I think that's literally it. What they like copy pasted onto his rants where he talks for like 30 seconds and says literally nothing. So I'm against bad things and for good things, and we really need to find a change in the way that things are done, and we are so divided because people say that we could have like good healthcare, or the insurance companies could be making mass money, and this is why I'm running for president. Thank you. Vote Pete. What's this?
By having better hands.
Oh, here we go. What's this? Please clap.
By having better hands guided by better values on those pulleys and levers of American government.
Thank you. I'm going to be... Oh, it's on the wrong screen. Not a paid actor. Yeah, I'm actually... I'm going to be running for state senate soon, so be ready.
By having better hands guided by better values on those pulleys and levers of American government. So can I look to you to spread that sense of hope to those that you know? Come on.
Cringe, dude. This was the 22nd. Yikes. Oof. Ooh. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Look at this dude.
So can I look to you to spread that sense of hope to those that you know?
We need the Curb Your Enthusiasm soundtrack to play for this guy. He's like, what the fuck did he just say? They have no clue what he just said. We need better, once we put better hands on the pulleys and levers and wedges and all those other simple machines on the big contraption Rube Goldberg machine that is this beautiful country full of peoples and humans and men and women and everything in between, and we can really change the chapter of the page in this book of the revelation of this country, because we really need this massive overhaul, upheaval of the status that is not good for this humans of the country, and that's really why we need to start running for president.
Come on.
Come on. What? Come on. Come on. Oh no, he knew it. You can see it in his face too. Look at everybody. Look, he looks so sad. Are you okay? He didn't even pick up a sign. He looks so sad. He's like, what's going on? What did you say? Oh no, 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 no. Oh no, no, no. This is your next president, ladies and gentlemen. It is Jeb. I've never seen someone channel Jeb so hard. Booty Jeb. Pete Buttigieg. Mayo Pete Buttigieg. Thank you. The simulation is getting lazy. This is sad. Oh no, no, no. You know, my favorite meme from this political cycle has been the Star Wars meme. Have you seen it? Let's see. Can I find it? Oh, here we go. This has been my favorite meme from the political cycle, personally. Like 2008, A New Hope, 2016, The Empire Strikes Back, 2020, The Return of the Jedi. This is a good meme. This is quality. He's more depressing than Trump sometimes. Yeah, a little bit. Kind of sucks that a person from another minority in this country is so unsympathetic to like other minorities. Dun, 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 dun. Come on now. This is funny. This is really good. I like it. So yeah. What is there left? We did very good. Thank you. Please clap. Please clap. Oh, speaking of memes, the big PP energy. Speaking of memes, right? I have the other night I was looking through the emotes, and you should be able to see a Frankerface Z emote, and it should be Joker Pepe. I don't know exactly how to type it, but it should be Joker Pepe, and I hope it's Joker Pepe because I want. Is it coming up? Oh, it's here. Oh, I love that emote. Come on now. Come on. Every time I want to talk about incel soon. I want to talk about Pepe Joker. My bad. Pepe Joker. I want to talk about incel soon. And I needed the Joker Pepe. You can do it, bud. I believe in you. Splat, you can do it. I believe in you. You can do it. You can do it, buddy. You don't have to. It's a capital J. I'm quite sure. Look at all these Twitch boomers. We live in a society, Pepe Joker. He looks. Oh man. See, it was Keck W always has a place in my heart. Keck W always has a place in my heart. He's gonna grow legs and stairs. But Pepe Joker is just top tier. Feels Bernie Man. Feels Bernie Man. I haven't seen that one. I want that one. I'm a Bernie stan. I want Feels Bernie Man. What the heck? You didn't. Why have you not informed me about Feels Bernie Man? Whoa. That's a beautiful meme. So here's this video about Jordan Peterson and Ben Bad Jews Shapiro, and they debunk intersectionality. If you don't know, intersectionality is the idea that if you're of multiple groups of minorities in a society, that you can face oppression from different angles. That's my bare bones definition of intersectionality, right? We agree that in some aspects, black people are hecked over in society. Now, and we can understand that, like, let's say poor people are screwed over in many aspects in society. So if you're black and poor, you're at that intersection of disadvantage that is special to you. And this is intersectionality, right? So pretty basic idea, right? And this man who's a theology professor, I think. What is Jordan Peterson? What does he have a degree in? I forget. And does this dude even teach anymore? I don't think he even teaches anymore. Whoa, Nate Silver. What is he? He's a clinical psychologist. So he is a psychology. He is psychology. Whoa, dude, that's kind of metal. I'm not gonna lie. No, I got you. He's 6'2". He's massive. He's such a big boy. Did you see that one tweet where someone called him like far right and he started to literally cry? He was tweet molding about how someone called him far right and he was like, "How dare you call me something like that? I'll smack you, silly." Like, geez, calm down, dude. He started actually crying. What a child. Chad Peterson. Yeah, he's massive. Yeah, how can Chad Peterson, bearded up, slick back hair, God-fearing Canadian man, 6'2", talk to be an incel chieftain? Far right? Yes. Far right is like when you go left, but then you go left 3 times, and that's when you become the far right. See, Bernie Sanders only went left 2 times. If you can see, Joseph Stalin went left 3 times, 3 whole times, and then he became far right. It's pretty wild, actually. The king of incels, yeah, incel chieftain, incel king, incel god, you know, the Pope, incel Pope, right? It's like Catholics, only there's even less sex, but there's even more little boys. No problem, Splat. I'll see you later, bud. Yes, that's how it happens. That's how you become far right, actually. Goodbye, buddy. It's nice. It's always nice for you to be here. The monster is inside of you. That's kind of gay. It's kind of gay, don't you think? So, like I said, that's intersectionality. It's a pretty simple concept. Whoa there, buddy. So if you're white and a woman who identifies as a man, you just become your own enemy. Thank you. So even top, we can just look at the top comment, and we already know we have some big brain takes. So let's see what Mr. Peterson has to say.
I think it speaks to the pathology of the radical left instantly. They're absolutely incapable of viewing the world except through group identity terms. And so if someone comes out and disagrees with them, then they have to characterize them by their fundamental group attribute, whatever that happens to be. Maybe it's gender, because that's a favorite, or maybe it's race. And so angry white men, young, there we go, sexist, ageist, and racist all at once, right? They're angry, young, white men. Well, it has to be that way if you're going to play the leftist game, because that's the only way that you can look at the world. And then
It's so weird. So you have these right-wing goons talking about the only way the left sees the world is through identity, and then you have like the liberal goons who are like the far evil left only sees the world through like class, right? So you have these two factions who are like, yes, they only see the world through class. It's all class reductionism. And then the other ones who are like, they only see the world through identity. Nothing else matters. It's just like you're white and you're evil and you're black and you're beautiful. Amazing. Yeah, I never once have I thought of myself as like an individual who's a part of a group. I've always thought of myself as the group. Hive mind. Yep. Because every time a black person comes, I'm like, yes. Yes. I feel a disturbance in the force. Where are my watermelons? Let's rewind just a little bit.
If someone comes out and disagrees with them, then they have to characterize them by their fundamental group attribute, whatever that happens to be.
I don't even know what that means. Enlightened communist hive mind? Yes, dude. Okay. Like Karl Marx didn't die. He just became a force ghost. And we can all every time we tap into pure communism, we can speak with him. It's pretty wild, actually. I've seen him a couple times, just in passing, I don't even know what that means. You boil it down to like what did he say again?
So if someone comes out and disagrees with them, then they have to characterize them by their fundamental group attribute, whatever that happens to be.
I don't even know what that means. Categorize them by their fundamental group attribute. Is he trying to say that? I mean, if he's going to criticize that parts of the left are like genuinely racist and or sexist and or perpetuate that, I'm not going to disagree with that. There's a whole bunch of pseudo woke fake like nerd libs who think that they're woke because they go, yes, white man said something, this must be bad, or they have no argument, and it's just like, yes, shut up white male, right? That happens. Or shut up and listen, that happens. This happens, and it sucks, and it's bad, and it genuinely is racist. But he doesn't just say that. He wants to parlay it into this is the entire evil left. Look at what they're doing.
Gender, because that's a
Someone said a mean thing to me on Twitter when I said that black people don't deserve when I said the poor black people don't deserve to be a part of the social safety net. Yes, brother. And that is what's it called? Crap. It's that word like the right likes to throw around and they use too much. What's it called? Oh, I can't remember it. Virtue signaling. That is virtue signaling. The real left-wing virtue signaling, how the word was actually created, right, is when you see YouTube, like up here for like Gay Pride Month, when YouTube turns their logo into like a rainbow for that month and says, guys, we love gay people, they're cool, right? That's virtue signaling. The company doesn't care. If the company could make billions and billions of dollars literally by harvesting the hearts of like homosexuals, they would. They don't care. Yeah. He's like when he the only thing I remember is like how the right was throwing a childish fit, throwing a toddler like fit over Trudeau being like, mankind, more like humankind. And he was saying it more as a joke, and everyone was laughing and clapping, right? You know, that's, I don't know much about Trudeau. I don't care about Canadian politics because there's only one country in the world and I'm living in it. But yeah, that's a prime example of it's probably Trudeau probably has a bunch of other goofs and gaffes that are probably stupid like that.
It's race, and so angry white men, young, there we go, sexist, ageist, and racist all at once, right?
I mean, I think it's okay to recognize that some people in society are more predisposed to like an ideology than others. I think that's fine, right? And with like the crisis of masculinity that we're having right now, and like the ideas of what it means to be a man and what it means to be white and what it in your place in society changing, and basically the dysphoria you feel there, or like the discomfort you feel when not knowing what you need to strive for or become, for many people who need to have a goal to become something, right? Like lots of women want to be feminine, and we have an idea of femininity, and the idea of masculinity is changing as well as femininity, right? But I think slower and to a lesser degree than masculinity. Femininity is also changing, but you know, and these guys are coming up into the world like, and then they don't know where to go and where to take themselves, and they get sucked into these like holes where they become, and like people are being sad, people are becoming more sadder. Men, especially white men, are more likely to feel disaffected from society, and everybody's getting sadder. It's harder for people to find relationships. It's harder for people to make connections with the world, and this is a breeding ground for like terrible ideologies, right? And then they get sucked into these like incel chieftains and internet daddies, like Peterson, like Shapiro, like Molyneux, who step in and try and guide them to like that old destructive idea of masculinity, that they have finally something to strive for, and they have all the terrible ideas that go along with it, and they can be used as useful tools for, you know, at the end of the day, rich people to exploit.
They're angry, young, white men. Well, it has to be that way if you're going to play the leftist game, because that's the only way that you can look at the world. And
it's very untrue. Like leftism, like critique of capitalism, economics, the way we view the world is very detailed, and the rights is very stupid. Like, what's a right wing like view of the world? What, eugenics? Oh, he does, because he's a grifter. If you stick around, yeah, he's a grifter. He doesn't care. He's smart. This is a room full of I dropped a couple frames. Oh, dropping frames. Oh no. Give me 1 second. Oh no. 5.7. I am dropping. Why? Why am I dropping frames? What's up with my internet? Well, oh no. Can you guys see the stream all right? Is the stream okay? I see myself dropping frames, but I'm not sure how bad it is or if it is bad. It's good? Okay. Weird. I'll keep an eye on it. Let me know if it's weird. Where's my train of thought? Let's get back on.
And then
it.
if you can't make your opponent reprehensible in some manner, if you're going to play the leftist game, because That's the only way that you can look at the world. And then if you can't make your...
It's a little choppy. I think we're... Oh, no. I'm going to restart the stream real quick. I'll be right back. Stick around. I should be back in like a second. Just 1 second.